This is the 1-2-1 review preview answers. The first question was to decide whether each of the following situations represented a proportional relationship. Majority of you, what you did was just answer the question and not read the instructions. You were deciding if it was proportional or not. So in A, it says Carmi's ordering video games. Karim is ordering video games. Each game costs $39.99. There's a $4.85 shipping charge per order. How much will it cost him to order any number of video games? And the correct answer is it's not proportional. Because of the shipping costs. So it wouldn't be going up by the same amount every time because you have to pay that initial amount. Part B, a given rectangle has an area of 20 square feet. What's the length of various widths? So the correct answer is not proportional. Because you can't have a width of 0. Part C, Oleg ran 8.8 miles in an hour and 20 minutes. Assuming he continues at a constant rate, how long will it take him to run any number of miles? And the correct answer is proportional because it's constant. And if he runs 0 miles, he's going to run 0 time. Okay. Problem number 48, you are making a box and whisker plot. Jerome is keeping track of how many books he and his friends have read during the first 100 days of school. To help Jerome present the data to his teacher, make a box plot of how many books each person has read. So the first thing we need to do is put the numbers in order. So I just did that right here. So 9, 12, 14, 17, 17, 18, 20, 21, 24, 25, and then 31. Okay, so when I do this, I want to first find my median. So I'm going to go from either side and figure out that my median is 18, then find the median of the lower half. So I go in, it's 14, median the upper half is 24, my smallest number and my biggest number. So I have to decide what to count by. So I counted by 2s on my number line. Okay, so then I put a dot at my 5 numbers. So 9 would be about here, 14 would be right here, 18, 24, and then 31. So then I take and put a box around the middle 3 with a line through the median and connect the 2. There's my box plot. Problem number 49, you had to simplify each expression without a calculator. So make sure you're changing any subtraction to addition. So you should have showed some work on this. So I rewrote this as 0.75 plus negative 0.4 to get the answer of negative 1.15. Part B, I had to find a common denominator. So I used 24. 3 times 7 is 21. 8 times 2 is going to be 16. So I end up with 5 24ths. In C again, I changed it to addition. Since they're different signs, I subtracted them and I got 0.24. 0.089 is negative and it's bigger. So the answer is going to be negative 24 hundredths. In D, I found a common denominator again. So I did 36. 12 times 3 is 33 on top. 9 times 4, so 16 on top. I got 49 over 36, or I could have written it as 1 and 13 over 36. Either was acceptable. E, I needed to change my mixed number to an improper fraction to 7 over 3 times 9 over 10. I simplified first, so I cross-reduced the 3 and the 9 to get 3. So I got 21 over 10, or 2 and 1/10. For 12, I have to do keep, change, flip. So I ended up with 96 over 7, or 13 and 5/7. For G, I had to find a common denominator. I used 15. So that makes us 10 plus a negative 6. So they're different signs, so I subtracted, and I got 1 and 4/15. Or you could have had 19 over 15. For H, I found a common denominator 56 and changed it to addition. So 8 times 4 is 32, and 21. When I added, I got 53 over 56. And for this last one, I subtracted them and ended up with negative 0.87 because 4 and 5/100 is bigger. For problem 50, you had to write a story. Your story needed to include what the graph was looking like. So it needed to make sure it talked about time and distance. So in part A, your story needed to include, so you need to write a story, don't just copy this for word, that it had a steady increase in speed. So you could have said something like, my car started out, I sped up, and I just kept speeding up, speeding up, speeding up. B, it had a quick increase in speed, and then leveled off. And then in C, it increased acceleration speed more and more. So it increased its speed more and more. So it's different from the first one, that this one had a steady, so it's constant in speed. Okay. For problem number 51, first you had to graph the data. So I started out with this being my time and this being my height. I went up by 2's for the x-axis. And 1 for the y. So I graphed 10, 3, which would be right here. 14, 4.3. 18 was at 7. 21 was at 8.9. And 23 was at 11.4. So then it asks you, what can you tell about Riley's plant-based on this data? So I said that over time, the plant is growing higher and higher.